Good morning here. I'll be doing a special feature of Gord cast. I'm currently on the Burin Peninsula in Marystown. I arrived on the Burin Peninsula yesterday afternoon, and when I arrived, I did get a call from St. Lawrence asking me would I streamline the vigil for Courtney Lake. And this is what I want to open up with here today. And I did go to St. Lawrence for the vigil, and to be quite honest with you, I feel it was an honor to be asked to go, and certainly to the Lake family from St. Lawrence and the families involved with the lost or the missing person right now for Courtney Lake. Our heartwarming thoughts and prayers are with the family that we can get something positive come out of this. Definitely very challenging times, but to the family, you got great support. Stay strong, and our thoughts and prayers are with you. Here this morning, I have with me Shane Dunphy, my brother. Shane is currently the president of the BPSA. He's held that position, I would think, roughly the last decade. In addition to being the president of the BPSA, he is also Burin Peninsula Soccer Association Hall of Fame chairperson. With the other two committee members are myself and Eugene Brushett from Marystown. In addition to that, Shane also is assistant coach with the Canada Games team that will be participating in the national tournament in Winnipeg the first week of August. So he's got a lot on his plate, and it takes a lot to run a soccer program. There's a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of work required, and there's a lot of help required. So we are maintaining the program, and I certainly congratulate Shane. The person that is a lot of the times the head, that's who either the goods or the bads fall on. But I know he's my brother, but I think he's done a tremendous job under circumstances that exist here with the demographics totally changing in Newfoundland and Labrador, especially in rural areas. My hat also goes off to, the St. Lawrence Soccer Association and the town of St. Lawrence to be not only a team in the Challenge Cup, but to being a legitimate contender, having won Challenge Cup championships in 2013 under the coach of Blair Ellert, and then again in 2016 under the direction of Derek Strang and Paul Slaney. And again, hoping to be in St. Lawrence this afternoon, bearing technical difficulties with getting this off, but it seems to a lot of people are enjoying. It's a different world. It's a world of technology, and why not avail of it? I will get bigger and better as time goes on. I will get better equipment. It's it's a therapy for me, guys, especially after having the surgery and waiting for a second surgery. It kind of takes my mind away from it. Later on today, I will be speaking with the mayor of St. Lawrence, Paul Pike, and this year is the year of the homecoming. And again, soccer will be incorporated into the homecoming. Mayor Pike's got a lot on his plate. The town has seemed to be back prospering very good with the reopening of the mines. So I'll get Paul's take on how things are going in St. Lawrence and get his spin. He was at the vigil last night, and he spoke on behalf of the town of St. Lawrence to the family for the missing of Courtney Lake. He's done a tremendous job, and so did Diane Norman, who emceed the vigil. But anyway, here I am. I'll get Shane into action here now. And obviously, in order to carry on with a program, you need a youth program. A senior program, you need a youth program. Shane's focus a lot over the duration of I would say his reign as president was to try to maintain a youth program. He did have two kids that have gone through the NLSA elite program. His oldest son, Shane, who's currently finishing his studies and will graduate shortly from the Marine Institute, and his young son, Ryan, who just completed grade 12 but is a member of the NLSA 2017 Canada Games. So anyway, Shane, give us your spin on your youth program, what you have done, and what's going on here in 2017.
Well, at the moment, Gord, I'm going to call you Junior because you're always part of the family. There's only one Gord in our family, and that was Dad. So in our face, in our lives, in our hearts, Gord Junior, and then there's my dad, Gord. So first of all, in the youth program, we got lots happening. We have under 10 programs, under 12 programs that are involved with the Metro League in St. John's, and the Metro League itself provides an opportunity for kids in our area to go and compete against all the teams on the Avalon. With that being said, those teams have to travel typically every 2 weekends. So this is where our program gets competitive. It gets them understanding what it takes to be a part of the Newfoundland program, what it takes to play against kids their own age. And in those age groups, we got Danielle and Patrick Edwards involved with coaching, as well as Lorna and Mark Pittman. Those guys are doing the younger kids. So we have Darrell Doyle and excuse me, and Donnie Lamb. They're highly involved in all the Metro program, and those guys are practicing, competing every 2 weeks. Meanwhile, after the under 12 program is what's called the Youth Premier League. The Youth Premier League is where teams from the province, whoever wins, because of the CSA, we now have U13, under 15, and under 17. And I'm very, very proud to say that we are probably one of 3 entire areas in the province that have teams competing in every division. When I say every, that means boys and girls. You know, in the under 13 boys, we have Derek and in the under 13 girls, we have Derek and Michelle taking care of that team. And of course, Derek Strang is also coaching the Challenge Cup team, so he's got a really, really heavy schedule. In the under 13 boys, Mike Kelly and Lauren Barry are 2 people spearheading this team. In the under 15 girls, Joanne Millay and Elaine Sr. have taken these kids since they were probably 8 or 9 and brought them right up to the program, and they will be competing to be a winner, not just to participate. Those girls are very, very strong, well coached, certainly have a great soccer background, and so I'm looking forward to seeing those girls compete. In the under 15 boys, we have David Welsh, who's taken over the program. I watched them guys play last weekend. Certainly seen a lot of good qualities, a lot of good skills, and I can see it going forward in the future. In the under 17 girls, Yvette Quirk and Mr. Frank Lamb, who has returned to the program. Frank was always a part of the soccer program, but now Yvette needs some guidance and help, and you got to God love Yvette. Yvette sent me a letter one time and asked, she said, Shane, it's not always about winning. It's about giving them kids an opportunity to play. And I knew she was short on numbers. I knew it was iffy because, as you probably know, once you sign up for a program and schedules are done, if a team pulls out, you're really in trouble, and it's a black eye on the Bjorn Peninsula. But anyway, I met with Mike Power and Judy Calloway, and I read Yvette's email to them. I said, boys, what do you think? I said, this is the most honest person that I ever read an email from. And when Yvette said, Jane, all I want to do is provide an opportunity for those girls to play. God love her. She did. She
What about Jane?
So hard.
Obviously, there's, in order for those people to volunteer as coaches and coaching at a provincial level, there's certain requirements, certain certifications. So all those individuals that you're naming have gone and done the coaching program. I know I will get it more detailed, but the coaching yet. So those people have not only volunteered, they have also have gotten themselves certified. What level, and briefly explain it so the people that are watching could understand certification, because not everyone would understand. A certification now is much more complicated than one time.
Well, as you know, the certification is based on 3 levels. You can have certification for under 8s. You can have certification for under 12s, which basically means small-sided games across the field. And then there's soccer for life, which is full field. And all of these people have went and got themselves certified. In addition to, of course, you need code of conduct. You need CPIC clearance. So these managers that all these teams have do a lot of work behind the scene, and of course coaches do all the work on the field. So yes, it is a big time volunteer job when you take over that.
So the code of conduct you're talking, like you say, would be required. So obviously if minors and anyone under not only the minor and senior, code of conduct as well as police check backgrounds, all of that is a requirement now for coaching under the NLSA program at all levels, because obviously if you're going to put your child or even an adult, you want somebody mature, and you want someone that is in good standing with the law. So all of these are requirements, and the NLSA are enforcing them, and the BPSA you're totally in tune with and supportive of the NLSA program?
100%. We follow everything that the NLSA does in terms of code of conduct, vulnerable sector, harassment course. Everything is with all under the program of the NLSA.
NLSA. So, and not only that, people, once the NLSA, they have to, the provincial body fall under the umbrella of the Canadian Soccer Association. So it's the Canadian Soccer Yeah, I've had a phone call come in here, guys, and I just had to turn it down. So not only is it the provincial program, then you go down to your regional program. So it's a lot for asking for a volunteer, but I guess that's just the rules.
It certainly is. And that being said, within the next couple of weeks, once the kids all finish their exams, we're going to be offering another coaching program under the guidance of Dragan Markovich and Mike Power, who are our technical directors for the NLSA. They'll be coming out, and we'll be getting all people updated in their coaching certification. So if anyone's interested in doing the coaching program, certainly contact me. My cell number is 277-5279, and my email address is shanedunphy@hotmail.com. So that will be coming up. I'll be putting it on the radio. I'll certainly be putting it on the websites and so forth, and we'll be going from there.
Yeah, okay. At the end of the interview, guys, I will get Shane to read out his cell number again and his email address, for the simple reason because there will be coaching programs that will be for recertification as well as new entry people as well. So if anyone is interested in this, Shane will be the person to contact. So again, I will get to the fact that at the end of the program or the interview, I will ask Shane to, we'll just take our time, just get a pen, get a coffee, get a tea, write it down for your son or daughter, or maybe, any retirees that just want to help out, especially with kids, because you do have to have a certain level of certification in order to enter into any provincial tournament. So that's not something that the BPSA, I guess that's something you adhere to. So again, it seems like, Shane, between your minor program and your coaching program, are you totally satisfied?
I certainly am. And that being said, like all regions of the world, we can get coaches, we can get kids playing, but then the tough part always was the officiating. And 2 weeks ago, we had Dan Maher come out, and he did a referee's course. And in the referee's course, there's a maximum of 14 participants. Well, I had 18 that wanted to do it. But of course, you follow rules and regulations, and so we got 14 officials now who are legit to officiate all games. Of course, most of them are very young and will be able to follow the program and coach in the youth, meaning the provincial league and so forth. However, I do have a couple of the older ones that we're going to be trying those guys at the Challenge Cup game this evening in St. Lawrence, and we're going to let them have a go on the line. So if you see the linesmen tonight, congratulate them for stepping forward to help our program. So that no longer do we need to have to bring in officials from the St. John's and so forth and outside of the region, and it certainly helps our program grow, and it will keep a future that's certainly bright for our officiating.
So I also understand that Corey Welsh has returned home from Alberta, and I was told unofficially that he will be involved. Am I correct, Derek?
Corey Welsh will be doing the middle for both games tonight. Doing the middle for both games for tonight and tomorrow. Yeah. And as you probably know, Corey's family's going through a bit of sickness, and God love him. He's home to do and help in whatever way he possibly can for him. So my heart goes out to his family as well, Junior, because as we all know, it's never easy when we got sickness in the family, and Corey had to come home from Alberta to help out and be there and support everybody as much as possible. So all the best to their family as well.
So again, so Corey will be a head official, and yes, there's different names, and I'll stick to like you say, our old time names. The referee, now the referee is the head official, and the linesmen have become assistant referees. So really, Corey will be doing the middle. That's the head official of the weekend in both games. And then we have two new.
We have Carl Patton, Eric Power. We have once exams are over, then we'll be having Ryan, my son, and we'll be having. I'm looking at the older ones, Joey Olfert. We'll bring them through the program and giving them the experience to be able to.
Well, that's great, because I know when I spent my time there as commissioner of Challenge Cup, it was a challenge with the games being played on the Bjorn Peninsula that, a lot of the cases there were 3 officials would have to come, and the cost would have to be taken up by the team that were to have to bring them out. So I think that's a great step in the right direction, and hopefully those officials and the new ones that will be doing the line, I guess initially, and hopefully they will go on and be, some of those will graduate from the official program and get in the middle, because doing the middle of a Challenge Cup game and doing the middle of a Challenge Cup game in St. Lawrence can be a challenge in itself. The Laurentian fans know the game. They want quality officials, and they will challenge. So it's good, and I'm glad, very glad to hear that we are definitely going, or the BPSI still consider we. My home is St. Lawrence, always will be. I sleep in St. John's. My home is in St. Lawrence, and the Bjorn Peninsula is where I'm from, St. Lawrence, and especially with my wife, like you say, being married down here. Been married 38 years, so obviously my ties are definitely to the Bjorn Peninsula, and it's great. It's great to see the minor program moving forward, the official program moving forward, the coaching program moving forward. Anything else you'd like to say on minor program, or the coaching program, or the referees program?
No, again, when you look at and see everything being positive, it makes all the hours and all the emails and all the texts and the conversations with people around Peninsula worthwhile, because we know that we got a healthy program that's going forward.
Okay, that's wonderful, Shane. So certainly congratulate the movement here, the movement afoot on coaching, on referees, on our youth program. So obviously, Shane, you're only one person. There's only one person that could divide himself into three, and he's the supreme power. But anyway, it seems like to me you got a lot on your plate, and you have done a great job. But anyway, I know you're an assistant coach with the Canada Games, and last year you entered on a half schedule into Challenge Cup. This year you're in on basically 2/3, or schedule and a half, I guess. So that's got to be pretty demanding on you. So, and the coach of the Canada Games is Andrew Murphy, head coach. Yourself is assistant coach. John Douglas, goalkeeper with the St. Lawrence Laurentians. He is also helping out with the Canada Games coaching program. And Gonzo Bennett is the team manager. So the NLSA have assembled a great team of a coaching staff. So where are you currently at with the Canada Games? Because you will be playing the national tournament in August. Give us a little rundown on your team. Give us a rundown on what you've done and what your expectations are for August.
Well, we had the conversation 2 summers ago about, first of all, being a part of the coaching staff. Once Andrew Murphy got head coach, he called me and asked me, would I like to be a part of it? And in that conversation, we discussed expectations and where we're going to it, how we're going to get there. And in the last 2 years, I'm going to say 20 months for sure now, we made a lot of strides. In our first year, we kept a pool of 22 players. 4 kids from the Peninsula were there then, which made me very proud, but they were all legit candidates. And so, your Parker Doyle, your Carl Patton, your Brent Henneberry, your Ryan Dunphy could compete with the best in the province. So that makes me so proud to know that they came up to the Bjorn Peninsula program. And in that year, as you know, we went to Ontario and Quebec, played against Team Ontario, played against Team Quebec, played against Toronto FC, played against Montreal Impact. We were there. We competed. That was very, very proud to see our kids from our region, from our province, go and be able to be competitive with what I call the strong teams of the whole country. So that was stage 1. In stage 2, that summer, we played in the Challenge Cup, all 16, 17-year-olds, and maybe 15-year-olds included. And we did very, very well last summer. Now this year, we went back to Ontario, and Quebec. We played those teams. Scores lost 3-2 and 4-1. I thought it was very, very good. After that, we went to the Lakes, and in Halifax, we played against the other three maritime provinces, PEI, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. We won that tournament. So, that being said, as of now, we have played the 5 provinces that are going to be at the Canada Games. In our draw, we have New Brunswick and Northwest Territories. If we can place 1 or 2 in that, we advance to the quarters, which will, of course, give us an opportunity to go for a medal. And you ask me what my goal is? My goal is a medal. Of course, we all know there's only one medal that matters, but that being said, if our team can play with all those other provinces, we'll be more than content.
Well, I know at the Atlantic tournament that was held recently, because I followed it very closely because it was all, again, it was streamlined. And so it was, each team played each province, and it was a round robin with the top team being crowned Atlantic champions. And I believe in the opening game you defeated Nova Scotia by a score of 4-2. Then you defeated PEI by a score of
3-0.
3-0. And then in the final game, you won the final game again.
We tied 1-1.
1-1 in the final game?
Yeah.
And as a result, okay, you were crowned. So that was, so generally, am I right under the assumption that Nova Scotia have been a powerhouse, and it's been a challenge for the NLSA teams to compete with them, but it seems that we have arrived, and we are probably. Would you consider yourself the forerunner, the top team out of the Atlantics?
Without question, our team now with the combination of players we have from the various communities and age groups, we will certainly be up there in the top 4 or 5 in the nation. And in Atlantic Canada, if we get everything going right, we'll be there for to bring it home.
Well, I know you're in the Challenge Cup on a round and a half this year. You got off to a slow start. You picked up some injuries at the Atlantic tournament, but the last 2 games you won in the provincial league.
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have. We started off again. Always a learning experience. Every game is you take something away from it. You don't really count results. You count how the players perform. Can you maneuver players? And this is our job and responsibility as coaches. Is how do we get the best of every one of those 18 boys? And so some people call it results and winning and losing. We call it performance. And once our kids are doing and performing at our expectations, then we're progressing, which of course is ultimately leading to Canada Games in Winnipeg. And so far our record in terms of wins losses, we have 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie.
So you're at a 500 here now.
500 so far.
That's good.
There's a brilliant man who made a prediction on that one time. I don't know who that was. So someone
I felt that the team from seeing where the team were at last year and watching them in the Ontario Tour, Ontario and Quebec, I felt that this team could play 500 in the league. And I was asked after the first 3 games, okay, Gord, do you hold to your prediction? And I do. About the first 3 games, you had your top 3 people that put the ball in the net. One was Emmanuel Dolo that got hurt. Then you had the guy from Labrador.
Mitchell Barry.
Mitchell Barry was in Labrador, and he couldn't be here for the exams.
And Jacob Grant in Ontario.
So after, like you say, I know Emmanuel Dolo had come back in the game 4, and the other 2 guys, be it Mitchell Barry and Jacob Grant, that's the way. You're still missing them. So this team is only going to, I would think, get stronger. Right now, I understand you're off on a break. The Canada Games are off on a break. The reason for that is?
Well, of course, examinations are going on now.
Great, that's a great. Actually, I had involved with a discipline hearing this weekend. No, the kid has got exams, and I said no. There's no hearing when you got exams. So I'm quite pleased to know that in LSA, despite wanting eliteness and power, that you still want education as a priority. So that's great, and I'm glad the Canada Games are off right now. I know. Just give us when will you play next and where?
Our next games will be in St. Lawrence. We'll have our full 18 players. That'll be June the 24th and 25th.
So you're telling me that the Canada Games team will be in St. Lawrence playing the Laurentians next weekend?
Certainly right, and that's going to be probably our most prestigious weekend for the summer, when those boys get an opportunity to play in front of the Laurentian fans, and who love and respect every soccer player in the world, regardless of what color. Then those guys are going to get an opportunity to perform at such a high level and such a proud moment. And of course, myself and John, being from the peninsula, we're going to be very proud on the sideline, looking at our boys play against our Laurentians, who are at the moment first in the Challenge Cup, and it should be a fantastic game. And whoever can take that game in will be certainly getting their money's worth that weekend.
Well, I know myself. I had the privilege there to be in LSA rep at a tournament that you guys were involved in. And from my perspective and my involvement with soccer, which is nearing now 50 years, I think the NLSA could not have assembled a better group. My reasoning for that is you guys are different. I think the three of you, combined with Gonzo Bennett, whose son Riley Bennett is on the team, I think bring a lot to the program, as well as I feel everyone can't be the same. I think the marriage that you got between the three of you, being Andrew, I find different. Andrew is more of a quieter, more firm. Yourself know the game very well. Andrew knows the game very well and has played at an elite level. He's been an all-star his whole career. Basically, the way I look at Andrew Murphy is no doubt one of the best defenders that ever played for Mel Pearl. And his coaching records, I feel, speaks for itself. He's a coach, and he has won Coach of the Year in the Challenge Cup. Then yourself there, knowing the game, and I think have a different connection with the team as well, knowing the players. You can, I think, reach out to them, touch them, but you also know when to be firm. There's a level of psychology that's got to be used in dealing with kids that are 16, 17, 18, because the Canada Games is at under 18. So, and then you have John Douglas. I think John Douglas, I have earned a lot of respect myself for John Douglas as a player, as a person, and as a coach. I think there's no one more dedicated to soccer and then the development of goalies. He has, over the years, challenged the officials with his goaltending, but I think that's why he's been so great. So, and then you have Gonzo Bennett. Gonzo Bennett he's been involved with hockey more than soccer. I mean, at the executive level, he was executive of the year with hockey. And for me to see the professionalism brought forward, so certainly from Newfoundland, wearing the Newfoundland colors, I don't think those kids, you made choices. And, obviously there's disappointment. I myself would have liked to see more Burin Peninsula boys on the team, and I'm sure you would have. I wish that we had to have more, but when you're selecting, there's a different level that you're looking for in the player. So I certainly wish you all the best. And next weekend, folks, the team is in St. Lawrence. Is word. I know myself. There's one kid. I'm for all about star players, not only star players, but I thrive. I don't care what uniform you wear. I hope Emmanuel Dolo, guys, comes to St. Lawrence and plays at his best. This Emmanuel Dolo is a player that he would attract me. This year I decided, obviously I'm restricted onto what games I can go because of sitting and standing at the field with my back issues. But I have decided I'd like to see the Laurentians and I'd like to see the Canada games, partially because you're there, Shane, as coach, and my nephew Ryan is on the team. And I like Emmanuel Dolo is enough for me to go down to the field and watch him play. So St. Lawrence fans know great soccer. So Emmanuel, if you come to St. Lawrence, put on a great show. But it's not only Emmanuel Dolo show, but you also have some key players. I like Riley Bennett on the back line. Then your son Ryan is not a player that stands out as a classy individual, but very effective over the duration of 90 minutes with good ball distribution. And the guy from Mitchell Barry from Labrador, will he be here next weekend?
Yes,
he will. He's good, guys. He's a Mount Pearl prospect, and Jacob Grant that played with Holy Cross last year. I like those guys. And the rest are very steady. I like young Michael Quirk, or Jonathan Quirk, plays on the back line. His father is Mike Quirk Jr.
That's right.
So he's from St. Lawrence. He got St. Lawrence blood in him, so he's automatically good. He will be on the back line. Number 5, I think he is. So I could tell you, you can watch out from young Mike Quirk and your other center back, Riley Bennett. I like the two of them good. You're strong up the middle. And then, like you say, your strikers and this Dolo guys, you'll know who Dolo is, whoever takes the game in. So I certainly wish you all the best, and I think you have done a fabulous job. And it'd be nothing more than I would like to see is you wear a medal. Well, one time I guess medals you thought were always gold, but to me now, a medal is a placing that you have done your best. You've got a good draw. You're very fortunate with your draw. And again, the teams that are in your draw. And when we're talking about a draw, folks, there's 12 teams entered in the national tournament. So they're set up in 4 divisions and 4 divisions of 3, with the top 2 teams advancing to a second sort of a playoff round. For those that are not familiar, so the top team will play a second in another division, and you just crisscross over like that. And again, in your division in Winnipeg is
we have New Brunswick, and we have Northwest Territories.
So you have New Brunswick and Northwest Territories. Your goal there got to be placed first.
First place is certainly what we're shooting.
Yeah, yes. To me, if anything under first there would be a disappointment. So I certainly wish you all the best there. Wish you all the best there, and again, next weekend, folks, that Canada Games team we're talking about here for the last 5 minutes are going to be in St. Lawrence next Saturday and Sunday. I would think it'd be 6 o'clock and 1 o'clock.
Right, you are.
Same as all Challenge Cup games, my understanding, in St. Lawrence. Anyway, we'll move on. Next thing is we're going to put in some big focus. Why am I saying we're? Well, I'm saying because I'm involved with the BPSA Hall of Fame. Shane is the chair of the Hall of Fame. The other committee member is Eugene Brushett. Take it away, Shane. Tell us what our goals are now for the BPSA Hall of Fame.
As you know, the Hall of Fame is probably the most prestigious elite award that anyone can be rewarded and earned over their playing career. The BPSA Hall of Fame this summer, probably it's going to be late summer, early fall. We're looking at, and I call it the word mega. Mega meaning 20 plus people are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. We have worked tremendously hard evaluating, assessing various individuals, looking at nominations and going through the process and looking at all potential players, builders, officials, or in whatever combination. And that being said, once we get going, we do have a list, and as you guys know, we are always asking someone to nominate. Don't leave it up to us, because we're willing and work with anybody. If you don't know how to nominate, contact one of us. We'll guide you through the process. We'll do it all. You know, we got players from St. Lawrence, Bjorn, Marystown, Grand Bank, Fortune, Lawn, Garnish. There's lots of players over the years who haven't been really nominated and been rewarded for their contributions to the soccer game. So if you feel that there's someone that should be in it, just take it on yourself to get the ball rolling, and we'll guide you. Listen, it's something that it requires a lot of work, it requires effort, it requires going back and making sure you have all their accomplishments and the year's performance together. But so be it. We can work together. We can do it. You know, and it's something that we're so proud of to be able to recognize these people. So that's our plan. That being said, JR, it's a big money job. It requires a fair dollar to have that banquet. So this summer, the BPSA has hired a student, Jordan Pike. He has already started going around to all the businesses in on the peninsula, and if he hasn't approached your business, and you need to and you would like to contribute whatever you can afford, then we more than appreciate it. And as I said on the letter that I gave Jordan, I said, Jordan, anyone who wants to donate $100 or more, then their business can be advertised on the BPSA website, which currently Jordan is updating and bringing it back alive again. So that's another very important tool for everyone to have. And as the committee has discussed, Eugene, Gord, and myself, we're going to have every one of those former BPSA Hall of Famers.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back, sorry. As I was saying, we're doing up a BPSA website, and every person that's in the Hall of Fame, their profile is going to be put on that website. It's going to. I want to get a picture of every former person that's ever been inducted. I want which team they played for, which position they played. Every statistic that we can give about that person. I want people to be able to go there, click on it, and see who they are, what they were, why they're there.
So what we're discussing here is obviously the Hall of Fame. And am I right in we're hoping to have the next Bjorn Peninsula Hall of Fame this fall, and that will be in St. Lawrence?
In St. Lawrence.
Yeah, because obviously St. Lawrence has maintained the senior program on the province, and I don't think there's any argument what numbers of people should be in the Hall of Fame. Obviously there are people that have been left out from, Shane had mentioned too, Lawn, Fortune, Grand Bank, Garnish, Bjorn, and Marystown. Having said that, St. Lawrence Soccer Association do have a Hall of Fame. We have gotten some names that we will evaluate for the next Hall of Fame. But again, it is open, folks. It is open for nominations. And the same thing I'll speak on right now quickly is that I am a member of the NLSA Provincial Hall of Fame as well. And this year we had five people that were put in to the Newfoundland and Labrador Soccer Hall of Fame. But, you know, and I congratulate them. Bob's parents, Harry Kelly, Dr. Paul, Mike Howlett, and Bill Doc Slaney, late Bill Doc Slaney. And there's more. There's more to come. But again, someone's got to do nominations, and to do it, not only just to write up a script. The script, guys, has got to be done properly, because that is going out to the public. Their profiles will be seen throughout the globe right now. Once you got this World Wide Web, you can just see how easy it all is here right now by the simple how you can do this streamlining, and like say BPSA, Soccer Association, setting up a new Hall of Fame. So our website, I should say, new Hall of Fame website, and a new one coming. So again, we ask, and obviously all of this takes money. I know, Shane, you set up with the banners, hoping to get a Bjorn Peninsula Soccer Association Hall of Fame banners, and you sent out letters to the communities. How did that go?
What my big goal will be, and I envision a banner that will be displayed at all Hall of Fame banquets, and what I want to see on that banner is certainly every club that has ever had a team on the peninsula. And when I say that, I mean Garnish, I mean Fortune Apollos, I mean Grand Bank GBs, Lawn Shamrocks, St. Lawrence Laurentius, Marystown United, Bjorn Eagles. So I want their crest to be the focal point of that. And what I asked when I sent out my letter to the communities, I asked them to donate $300 each. So far, I've heard from St. Lawrence, Bjorn, Grand Bank, and Marystown. Maybe the other communities never got around to it.
And those clubs have agreed to pay and have their club name and their, like you say, their full name on the banner.
Certainly, all those clubs are going to have their crest and be recognized forever when we have our Hall of Fame banquet. And I think that's very, very, when we look at history and heritage, we can't forget these are communities that made the Bjorn Peninsula Soccer Program.
Well, I know when I was involved with president of the St. Lawrence Soccer Association, and we did up a banner for our annual our annual awards banquet, and then we also had another banner done up 40 years winning the Challenge Cup, and that's still displayed. And I think that's significant when you're having a banquet, as well as recognition, getting recognition to players and clubs. I think is something, guys, if it's not done, it will be forgotten. We all can remember. I know one person, that person from Grand Bank, he's sick now. He was never ever nominated. I think it's a shame. It's sinful that person didn't go in, but it's not that nobody ever felt he was good enough. He was great to me, but I think it's unfortunate that it wasn't. So and it's never too late, like the BP or the NLSA taught, and it was brought forward by, I know his son Craig was instrumental in putting something together for his dad, as well as Reg Farrell played a big part of getting Bill Doc Slaney into the provincial NLSA Hall of Fame. So guys, it's never too late. And if it's a family member belong to you, get it in. What?
And the guy from Grand Bank too, was that Malcolm?
Yeah, Malcolm Osmond. I'd love for him to go in, guys, when there's a breath of life in him. And, I know it's a recognition to the family and to the individual when they pass on, but, I really think if it's got to be done, let's do it now. We all got individuals. Anyway, Shane, we'll get to our last thing off the interview here today, one-on-one. That's from Gord Cass. That kind of little hobby Gord got on go now. Well, he's been challenged with the back issues that I got. It gives me a breath of life for, I still got to try to maintain myself in doing something. So And I think this is where it's at today. So that's why you wonder why I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to do this because my life has been around my family and soccer. And this here, I can do this just sitting on my Chesterfield. Anyway, Shane, it can't be only you. It can't be only you. It must be other people that you have helped you to survive the big, mighty Avalon, to survive the NLSA, to survive being able to St. Lawrence Laurentians to compete with Holy Cross Feelings Mount Pearl and growing CBS. And now we have new entry from Cornerbrook. So who has helped you? Who's there for you that you feel is worthy to give them recognition to?
I'm glad you asked that question because, I'm at this 12 years to BPSA component, and I'm going to name two people that probably most of you guys didn't even know existed. Paula Brenton. Paula, first of all, she does all the applications and forms so that when I hire students in the summertime, Paula takes care of that component. This summer we're finalizing our number of students, but it looks like we're going to have 4 to 5 students hired for the summer, and that's that's fabulous. That takes a big load off me for the simple fact that those boys and girls will be able to get to the communities and do the coaching and the officiating and so forth. So Paula does all that aspect of getting summer jobs. And the second most important person, or probably both the most important person, would be Joanne Kerr. Joanne does all finances for me. Every nickel dime that comes in goes out, Joanne takes care of. And as we all know, Joanne, handling money is not an easy thing. And Joanne, by her profession, works with Jody Murphy, and he's accountant for her. So Joanne certainly has the background and experience to be able to make sure all that's maintained properly. And I guess the last thing people would like to say thank you to would be the town of Marystown. Mayor Sam Sanders, the Recreation Commissioner Rob Ward, and I guess the Recreation Director, Recreation Director is Rob Ward, and the Commissioner would be Mary Beth Farrell. When I asked those guys about getting fields maintained and so forth, never an issue. Never an issue, done properly, professionally. So, and that requires a lot of work too. So those people take care of that aspect of the soccer program. So when you got someone who's responsible for the hiring of people, someone responsible for maintaining the fields, someone who's responsible for the hiring of students and certainly keeping the money intact, well then, guess what I get to do? I get to love soccer. I get the coaches involved, get the players involved, and as you know, I put the lotto or the motto on my shirt here. It says "Stronger Together," because the BPSA cannot exist if all the communities on the peninsula, at the moment now, I use Michelle Patton in Grand Bank. Michelle is a key liaison for keeping the Grand Bank and Fortune program going. I use Mark Pittman in St. Lawrence for keeping the youth program going from St. Lawrence and Lon. Joanne Hartson, Paul Hartson in Bjorn, and Jeff Oak in Marystown. And these people are the people that I work together. And in order for soccer to survive on the peninsula, we need to work together, and that makes us so much stronger. So in conclusion, first of all, Gord, I really appreciate you asking me would I like to do an interview. Hopefully you guys got another better insight into what's happening on the Bjorn Peninsula in terms of soccer. And last but not least, the old fellow got a birthday in 2 days, so I guess I'm going to give him an early happy birthday. To you, sir. I hope you have many more.
Yeah, I appreciate the happy birthday. We'll get that. I guess you'll see that all over the Facebook on. That'll be probably Monday. Today's the 17th, so Monday will be my birthday, and I appreciate that, Shane, and certainly appreciate the time here. But guys, like the problem is myself interviewing Shane is it's your brother, but there's a reason I feel Shane won last year. He won the NLSA Volunteer of the Year. Then he was recognized NLSA Newfoundland and Labrador Soccer Association. Then he won Sport Newfoundland and Labrador Volunteer of the Year. Quite an honor. Then, not only that, his name was submitted for the Gordon Seabright VOCM Cares Volunteer of the Year. And he was on that list, and VOCM Cares gave him recognition for his volunteering, as well as Sport Newfoundland Labrador. That's for all the sports in the province, any sport. And so people do recognize the work that you do. They do appreciate what you do. I think too, Shane, maybe like the other guy I feel that has certainly paid his dues for the past 10 years, decade or more. You mentioned 12 years, would be Hubert Beck.
Certainly.
You and Hubert and myself being the commissioner for the last 8 years, we all know where we come from. And, anything you want to sum up with Hubert?
Yes, I'm certainly glad you brought up Hubert, because, as you know, it's tough to keep going. In Hubert, Hubert got such an insight and foresight on soccer in the area, and certainly in St. Lawrence, that a lot of people will look at it and say, oh, he's this and that, and meaning he's not doing a lot. Hubert works relentlessly at soccer. He's constantly doing things, from, as I saw on Facebook, the best grass pitch in the world is St. Lawrence. That doesn't happen by chance. Hubert is the man behind that. Score clock up there. That's Hubert's doing. The continuous and fundraising, like what Hubert has to do to keep that going in terms of funds, it's beyond anyone's imagination. It's not a volunteer position. If someone told you you had to work at it, you say you're crazy. You can't pay me enough. Because of Hubert's giving me time relentlessly and without an issue, that's what made St. Lawrence soccer what it is. And that's what made Bureau Peninsula soccer. Because all those kids that play in the Bureau Peninsula program eventually want to grow up and play with the Laurentians. So Hubert, thank you all the years that you have donated and committed your time to St. Lawrence Laurentians.
Yeah, I know. I know from Hall of Fame again, the last time the BPSA saw fit, and Hubert was inducted into the BPSA Hall of Fame.
That's right.
So it's not going unnoticed at the regional level, And it's not easy, guys. It's not easy doing the volunteering and doing the hitting up of the administration. If it's good times, you get acknowledged. If it's bad times and there's questions asked, you'll get ridiculed. So you got to take the good with the bad. But you got to realize there's work behind maintaining the St. Lawrence Laurentians, and all three, that have played instrumental part of, head duties throughout the province, being that Hubert, especially myself, and my brother Shane. We have not forgot where we come from, and certainly have not forgotten that the St. Lawrence Soccer Association and administration play a big part of it. In concluding, we did mention that Shane will be having a coaching program that is open for recertification, is open for newcomers. Get in contact with Shane, and we had the officials that's done. And the other one was, BPSA Hall of Fame are accepting nominations. Rather than write up a half a dozen names, give out your cell number, Shane, very slow, and give out your email very slow, so should anyone want to write it down, the opportunity is there. Your cell number first.
My cell number is 277-5279. And an easy way to remember that is I'm 52 years old, and JR, when his birthday comes a couple of days, he'll be 79. So remember that. 5279. 277-5279. And my email is probably one of the simplest in the world. It's my name, Shane Dunphy, all lowercase, at hotmail.com.
Okay, thanks, Shane. So hopefully you got that, and hopefully, people will avail of opportunity to take the coaching, and people will do the work required in nominating for the Hall of Fame. In concluding, I will let you know I will be speaking with the Mayor of St. Lawrence, Paul Pike, at 4 o'clock this evening. I'll be in St. Lawrence. I'll do some time at an interview with Paul Pike. Hopefully we can get it done at the St. Lawrence Rec Center. And so that will be live streaming with Paul Pike at 4 o'clock. And don't forget, the St. Lawrence Laurentians take to the field at 6 o'clock this evening, playing host to Mount Pearl. This will be the Laurentians' first home games of 2017. And after playing thus far, no games at home, they are currently in first place. I think quite a record. To be honest with you, I feel the Laurentians will be the first place team overall this year. There are new additions I've done a blog on, introductory of the new players, and I'm welcoming them to the Laurentian. George Lawton, former UNB captain. Mark Breffel, from Ghana, played with Munn. New addition to the Laurentians. Only thing about George Lott is that I feel bad for him. It's the first game home, and George picked up 2 cautions in the last game. He wasn't too pleased with that. But anyway, that goes with the territory. And so he'll have to sit out today's game. And the third new addition is a kid, which I'm glad they not only brought in established players, they picked up Devin Ryan. Devin Ryan is from Labrador. He had previously played in the CBS minor program. Last year he played 1 year of Challenge Cup, and for some reason someone on the Laurentians must have chatted with him, and he is now wearing the royal blue with the Laurentians, number 4. George Lawton is number 16. Mark Breffel is number 18. And number 4 newcomer will be Devin Ryan, and they have played an instrumental part in the Laurentians currently be in first place. So thank you for those that have joined in. And I see Mark Pittman is there now. Mark, I don't know if the players are at home, but 4 o'clock I will be interviewing the mayor of the town. If it permits, if you're the captain of the team, if you want to bring George Lawton along and Mark Breffel along and Devin Ryan, I would like for them to be welcome to the mayor of the town at the interview, and let those players know what it's like to play for a team that got hurt. Desire, determination, dedication, and nothing but the best is expected. Anyway, thank you, Shane, so much for this first one-on-one. There will be more to come, more to follow. Hubert is not at home this weekend, so I tried to touch base with Hubert, but I also saw it fitting, being the year of homecoming in St. Lawrence, the mayor that has been, and council that has been supportive. Well, if they're not supportive, they won't be on council. They know they better be supportive of soccer. And I think every one of them, anyone that's listening or should tune into the broadcast, certainly are aware of that. But never have I ever heard that a town council of St. Lawrence have not supported soccer. That's why we are called the capital of soccer, to me, not only in Canada. I think from what I've seen through it. Thank you. Thank you so much.